Yo guys, we cooking them out today. Welcome back to the No Face Crypto channel where there's no face, there's no case. Alright, I'm gonna schedule this video to go up at a certain time. But look, I haven't even watched this video yet, but I just wanna lock in and show you guys. This dude knows what he's talking about. This is Verson or Vendel. He's from Black Swan Capitalists, and basically they're black pilled. But we're not gonna go there right now. I just need you guys to watch this video. The United States is there's two options here, but I'm gonna let him explain it, and don't let people try to change your way of thinking. Always expand your horizons. Always think further and think about the bigger picture here.
Let's talk about the negative outcome, okay? Potential negative outcome. So if the US continues down this current path, okay, and loses global confidence from the world, the fallout could be much more severe and very real. I'm not being doom and gloom. I'm just going to give you some realistic outcomes.
Alright, and before he really spits here real quick, I'm just going to let you guys know right now. Go to Black Swan Capitalists on YouTube, or go to Vendel Aligera or Verson Aligera. Okay? They are great resources in the crypto community, and I am leading you guys down the right path. I do not want you guys to get finessed or scammed up in here. Okay? This is not like the source of my information, but you need to go to people like this and double check all these things, and really start to understand what place we are in the world. Because I think you'll be surprised if you really look deeper. And also, Bitcoin and XRP were created by the NSA, but we're not going to get there. Maybe I'll show you that later.
So if a US default occurs, that would destroy trust in the US economy. Now, one way this could play out is investors could dump bonds altogether, regardless if there are high interest rates and nice rewards. Okay, and this could still cause a crash in the bond market and triggering basically widespread market volatility and stagnation across the globe, especially in the US. The second thing that would happen is higher borrowing costs. As bond demand collapses and bonds crash, interest rates go up and they spike. So businesses and consumers would basically face higher borrowing costs, okay, which is not good. This would be killing investment, reducing spending, okay, and shrinking tax revenues. And the third point to that is this will cause shockwaves. So a US default wouldn't just stay domestic in the United States. It would actually spark global financial chaos. It would disrupt trade globally, and it would basically tank international markets. That's extremely highly probable, and including the US stock market too. That would crash as well. The fourth point of that is the Fed would step in and overreact. So obviously things are a mess, things look bad. The Fed steps in after watching interest rates and bond yields spike due to the crash in US bonds. The Federal Reserve would likely overreact by trying to do what they do best, push yields back down. And in order to do this, they'd have to resort to printing a massive amount of money and completely debasing the currency and buying up US government debt because no one else would want it. So they have to buy it themselves. Now, this would require the largest amount of money printing effort in history just to counter the global dumping of US bonds, to counter that force. So to stabilize bond prices, basically, and to try to keep the domestic economy from collapsing, to prevent it from collapsing. So, but naturally, printing that much money would be extremely inflationary, and such a drastic move would basically further erode investor confidence in the United States and in the bond market, okay? So it would be such a negative outcome. And the fifth point, a controlled collapse, engineered reset. So how would this play out? Okay, after these sequence of failures that take place with the bond market, the solution would conveniently arrive, as it always does. The governments and central banks would have a public announcement. They would introduce solutions, introduce blockchain technology-based infrastructure. Maybe they'd tokenize the debt and restructure the system using the very, crisis they created to justify the reset.
Alright, so you guys pretty much get the point there. And there you go. There's an ad for Trezor Wallet. A good cold storage wallet. Not your keys, not your crypto. Make sure make sure you take your crypto off an exchange, please. But yeah, you get the point there. So he's basically saying, look, the United States is in so much debt. It is impossible for us to get out of this debt without defaulting on it, which would cause a total economic collapse across the entire world, or print more money into oblivion. So really, there's no answer here except for crypto and blockchain technology. But I need you guys to go figure that out for yourselves. I'm just here to provide you with the little pieces and dusting of information. But it's very, very interesting. And while we're at it, I do kind of want to check out, like, hold on. Excuse me. I'm very sorry. Alright. So, we can see here, I didn't know this before. So the China deal, it's for 90 days that they lower tariffs, which is a confirmed 100% U.S. and China agree to slash tariffs for 90 days. So, I can promise you one thing. They're going back to Geneva, and they will meet again. And it's pretty much a given. They're not going to just go and go back on this. They will meet again, and I feel like this is in hopes of a trade deal. And I know it's crazy because I had someone tell me the other day, bro, China and the United States, they're never going to come to a trade deal, whatever. We're enemies, and we're not. I mean, we are kind of, but let's be honest here. I mean, this is a start to a trade deal. They're going to go back to Geneva. It's the 90-day period. They have to come back and renegotiate and negotiate at some point. So we got about 90 days of relief. So you can forget about these talks for a while. That's off. All right, the chains are off. We're good to run in crypto. Now we're just waiting for regulation, CPIs, and just the cycle to continue. Global liquidity, stuff like that. Now the United States has a huge, huge issue, as you just heard. But hopefully in the future, we can get a good trade deal going, get some money coming in, more money coming into the United States. But it's not looking great, is what I'm saying here. And basically, yes. And you can also expect it. The United States and China do sign a trade deal, like, we're going to rock it. Markets would rock it 100%. That doesn't solve the United States debt crisis, not one bit. But yeah, that's about all I have to say. That was a great video by Verson, though, and you guys really got to lock in and understand, like, the global outlook here is we're screwed. We're screwed. And so why wouldn't you hedge some assets in crypto right now over the stock market or, a pool of the best companies in the United States? It just doesn't. It just makes the most sense to be in crypto right now. And your varying risk assessment of that, it could be different, but I personally, I would risk it. I would risk it, and that's not financial advice. But the way things are looking at here, the information I've seen, even the information you've been provided on this channel, if you go and double check all this, I am quite sure you would then earn yourself the conviction of wanting to be in crypto yourself. But you have to want to do the research yourself. So that's about all I have for right now, and I'll see y'all a little bit later. No phase. Fuck the bots.